Welcome back. Today is Monday, November 16th. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend. Trimester's kind of running down. Things are going well. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, for your self-start today, we had some questions. Which number is smaller, 0.3 or 0.28? So 0.3, I can also put a 0 here at the end of it to kind of help me out. So 0.3 is just like saying 3/10 of a dollar or 30 cents. So which number is smaller, 30 cents or 28 cents? Well, 28 cents is going to be smaller. How about this one, 0.81 or 0.9? So again, I can put a 0 on here if I want to. And which one's smaller, 81 cents or 90 cents? 81 cents is smaller. 0.05 or 0.4? 0.05 is like saying 5 cents. I can put a 0 here at the end of this one. 0.5 cents or 0.05 is smaller than 0.4. Which number is larger? Well, I'm going to do the same thing. 70 cents or 67 cents? 70 is going to be larger. How about 0.11 or 0.2? Which one's larger? Well, 20 cents is larger. What I like to do is think of decimals in terms of money because it's something I can relate to. So I always think about these as, oh, which one would I rather have? So hopefully that helps you out there. There's your thought for the day. You're welcome to pause and read it. As far as information goes, trimester ends next Tuesday, so a week from tomorrow. So that gives people lots of time to improve or ruin life skills grades, so hopefully you make the better choice. Second thing, while I'm no longer accepting most late work, I will still accept last week's blue packet, and I will accept that up until this Friday. Teachers have to start finalizing grades after Friday, so that's kind of my cutoff for it. The same thing goes for feedback oopses. If you're going to fix any oopses, they need to be fixed and submitted back to me by this Friday so we can get those grades updated. For today, we're going to talk about self-start, which we've done. People will check their grades. And we are going to be reviewing integer addition and subtraction today. This is something we did at the very, very beginning of the school year. So we're just kind of reviewing to make sure you guys haven't forgotten it. With these, try your best not to use a calculator. See if you can figure out other ways to solve them. So first off, here's the vocabulary that we learned during that unit. We talked about what an integer was. It's just a whole number, positive or negative. Opposites are the same distance from 0. A 0 pair is when I have a positive and a negative, and I can put them together and they just cancel each other out. Inverse, also known as opposites. So opposite or an inverse of -5 would be a +5. Absolute values just have the same distance from 0, so it's just like opposites. Difference and distance between, those are some keywords. They both mean to subtract. So first thing we're going to cover is modeling. We're going to model these with integer chips. We're going to need to draw 2 negatives and 4 positives. So 2 negatives, 4 positives. Now remember, a 0 pair is when I can take a positive and a negative and they cancel out. So those cancel out. How many 0 pairs did I make? Well, I paired up 2 different sets. What's left over? 2 positives. 5 negatives, 1 positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 negatives, 1 positive. I can do that. How many 0 pairs did I create? I only created 1 0 pair, but what's left over? 1, 2, 3, 4 negatives. Don't forget your negative sign. We also talked about number lines. Number lines, we always start at 0. So we're going to go 7 in the positive direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we're going to go 3 in the negative direction. 1, 2, 3, and I end up at a +4. -5 plus a -4, I'm going to go 5 negatives, starting from 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to go 4 more in the negative direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I end up at a -9. Oh, I have subtraction. Hopefully you guys remember what to do first. I can use a superpower and have a consequence with it. So I've got, instead of saying 4 minus 6, I could say 4 plus a -6. To model it on a number line, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the positive, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the negative. And I end up with a -2. Two minus a -5. If I use a superpower, I also have to have a consequence. So now it's just like saying 2 plus 5. 1, 2 in the positive, 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more in the negative or positive, and that gives me an answer of 7. We talked about story problems, specifically with temperature. The temperature in New York was 15 degrees. The temperature in Detroit was -3 degrees. What's the difference in temperature? There's that keyword we just talked about. Difference means to subtract. I always like to put the positive number first, and then I'm going to subtract the negative, because that allows me to now use a superpower and a consequence and get 18. You could also do this on a number line where you could do 15 in the positive and then 3 more in the positive as well. Don't say that it's 12, because if I do count the jumps on a number line, I would get a lot more than just 12 jumps. Or maybe something like this. During the football game, the Denver Broncos lost 6 yards, then lost 3 yards, and then gained 10 yards, and then lost 2 yards. What's the end result? Well, keywords: lost, lost, gained, lost. Also, we talked about the word and meaning to add. So lost 6 yards, that would be a -6. And lost 3 yards, that would be a -3. And gained 10, gain would be a positive. And lost 2 yards. So I could start combining if I wanted to. A -6 plus a -3 would be a -9. 10 plus a -2 would give me +8. And when I combined that, I get an answer of a -1. Keywords we've already talked about, and there's how we set it up. You could also set it up as a model. For example, lost 6 yards would be 6 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then lost 3, so I'd add 3, put 3 more negatives. 1, 2, 3. Gain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And lost 2, which means I would put 2 more negatives on. There's my 0 pairs. Trying my best to use a mouse to circle these. And I end up with 1 negative, which is what I got there. High diver jumps from a diving board 15 feet above the ground into a pool. It's 20 feet deep and touches the bottom. What's the distance the diver traveled? Well, if I look at this, I'm going to draw my diving board. There it is. Draw my water. Draw my diver. There we go. And then I'm going to draw the bottom of the pool. So it says that he dove from a diving board 15 feet above the ground, so that's a +15 right there. Dove into a pool that's 20 feet deep. So if this is my 0, 20 feet deep would be down here, which would be a negative. What's the distance he traveled? Well, it's 15 feet from here to here, and then it's 20 feet from here to here. So I could say that it's 15 minus a negative 20 and get 35. He traveled a total of 35 feet. If you have any questions, I know that was kind of a quick review. Feel free to email your teacher through Canvas, email. Just get a hold of us somehow. Have a great day. Hopefully we'll see you guys soon.